Maybe it's just me, but sometimes I feel like when I go through a crazy season of busy or travel or transition, I just get so exhausted. I get totally overwhelmed by all the little things, and coming back from something and then jumping back into real life, and it just feels so overwhelming. So I desperately need a reset in my life right now. So 2 weeks ago, my husband and I went on our anniversary trip, and then as soon as we got back from that, we had to move into our new apartment and get cleared out of our old apartment. So needless to say, we have just been a hot mess for the past week. And on top of that, I do work full time, and both my husband and I do, and we typically have to get up at 5 in the morning for work. And so we have had hardly any sleep, and with moving, our fridge didn't work in our new apartment for a couple days, so they had to replace it. So we just didn't really have the best food available. So I have been just really feeling it. I feel like I am just so exhausted. I also feel very undernourished, and I feel like there's so much that needs to get done, and there's just not enough of me and not enough time to be able to do it all. So anyways, now that things have somewhat settled down, there's still some things that need to be done left, but I think it's important for me to start prioritizing self-care right now, so that way I can have the energy and the clarity of mind to be able to do everything that I need to get done. So this week I am focusing on, probably for the next actually couple weeks, but specifically this week, I'm focusing on a reset. This can incorporate lots of different things if you're doing a reset. A lot of people will do like monthly resets, but I think it's so important to do a reset after you travel, or after you have a really big life event, or a transition of some sort. Anything that's a big change, I think it's essential to have a reset. But there's just lots of things where I'm like, okay, everything needs to get right back into place this week. So I want to focus on a couple areas of my life to narrow down to start this reset. So I want you guys to come along with me this week and see some of the things I do to plan and prepare for and implement a life reset. Maybe this is obvious to some, to most, but when you move in, I feel like just unpacking and giving everything a place is so important to feeling settled. And I am a big nester. I firmly believe in nesting. And so for me, I just needed to get all of this stuff put away in this closet, so that way I knew where everything was and I wasn't just having little boxes hanging around. I don't know about you, but I feel like when I move, everything is just in utter chaos, and I haven't eaten good foods in a while. So I decided to go ahead and get some of my favorite healthy foods together. I love blueberries. They are a natural antioxidant. You can eat them all day. I also love sugar snap peas, so that's also on the menu. I also tend to do a quinoa bowl with corn and black beans, and I love to throw some avocado in there so we get some anti-inflammatories, but also some protein and fiber. So that's like one of my go-to meals. I just think it's so good. I could literally eat it every day. And then I just have some different spices to throw in there to kind of make it taste a little bit better. And then I just decided I was going to eat this while I was continuing to work for the day. And man, there's something so important about refueling your body. And I don't know if you feel this, but as soon as I start eating something that's healthy for me, I instantly feel better, and I love what it does to my digestion and to my brain. I just feel a huge difference in my body when I eat better. And so this has been a priority for me this week, just to eat a little bit better so that I can feel better, so I have the capacity to get things done. All right, so I feel like today is one of the first days where I literally, it's just 4 o'clock. I've already finished my workout. I finished work at 2, and my friend and I, we went and worked out at 2:30 for an hour. And now that I'm home, I have the whole evening to myself, and I feel like I've definitely been delaying a couple things. I feel like we're finally settled into our new apartment with getting all the furniture in place and just kind of having everything we need. We've taken care of the old apartment. We're moved out of it officially, and so now I feel like my brain has the space for other things, little things that I've been putting off here and there, and I just need to get those all down on paper because it needs to get done and I don't have any excuses. So that's where we're at. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a list just of all the things that I can think of that I need to get done tonight. Just it's like little things, and when you reset, you just need something that's little, but like it's the little things, when you add them all up, they make a huge difference. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make a checklist of some things that I need to do that'll just help me feel like I can really truly reset and enjoy my evening tonight without a care in the world. So I just went through and wrote down everything that was on my mind, and then I couldn't remember what was happening in the next couple days. So then I got into planning out some stuff for my month and week, and so that took over as well. But it was helpful for me to see when things needed to be done by, so that way I could prioritize what needed to get done today. So next up, I had to write a bunch of essays for my secondary medical school applications, and basically it's like, write about yourself and tell us how great you are. And that is just such an awkward thing to do. Like, what college class teaches you to write about yourself and how great you are? Like, hardly any. I mean, I didn't really take very many English classes or writing classes to begin with, but in the few that I did, I felt like I was not taught how to write this. So I'm just editing out a rough draft, and then my mom is so wonderful and goes through. She helps me make everything sound better. So I just had to write these up to then send to her, so that way we could get the final draft sent out. And they have a pretty quick turnaround, so we wanted to get those in as soon as possible. Laundry is probably the bane of my existence. I feel like it is not just a simple do one part of it. It's like, okay, you have to put it in the washer, and then you have to put it in the dryer, and then you have to fold it all and hang everything up, and it just takes a lot of time. So today I decided I was gonna watch an episode of The Crown while I was folding laundry to kind of help me get through it. And as you can see, my dog Stark, he was my companion on the bed. He doesn't really help much, but he loves to just be there. Laundry is just the absolute worst. But when it piles up, it's terrible because you're like, I literally have nothing to wear. So what else are you supposed to do? You've got to do laundry. A huge part of resetting is just making sure that all the laundry is taken care of, everything's folded, put away, ready to go, and you don't have to think about it for another week. My husband is a big fan of TV shows, and so he and I are watching The Office together. And sometimes I don't know, maybe this isn't just me, but I get really bored watching things for the most part. It just is really hard to capture my attention for a long period of time. So one thing I've been doing is I have been cross-stitching or needlepoint. I just think it's very therapeutic to make all the little crosses, and so I decided tonight that I would work on a little cross-stitch needlepoint project I've been working on for my sister, and it's a cute little bike, and I don't remember what it says, but it says something like keep going, or some like little word of encouragement. But I got it for like $3 at the dollar or at Walmart, so I was like, yeah, this is perfect. Gave me the whole kit. It's just something really easy to do while I'm watching a show that makes me feel like I'm doing something, but it's just also very therapeutic. And I think that's a big part of resetting, is just taking some time to do something somewhat mindless so that you can kind of turn off the stress, turn off the to-do list, and be a bit more present in the moment. We just had a really lovely night watching The Office together and being together as a family and just chatting and laughing, and then also working on this project for my sister. My feelings for the dishwasher are quite similar to laundry. I'm afraid it is one of those unending chores that just builds up and up and up and up and never really goes away until you handle it. First things first, needed to go through, put away all the dishwasher bits and pieces, get everything sorted and put away so I could actually function in the kitchen, and then going through and just pop everything into the dishwasher and get that going for the evening. I don't think there's anything better than hearing the sound of the dishwasher going at night when you're going to sleep. You're like, oh, everything's taken care of. Tomorrow everything will be clean. In the morning the kitchen's clean. I think this is a huge part of my like daily reset, is just taking care of all of this. When I walk out in the morning, I don't already have something else to do on my to-do list at the beginning of my day. And I love like watching something. I'll watch a YouTube video or listen to an audiobook or something while I am doing the dishes, or even just like chatting with my husband. I think that's like one of my favorite things, is when I'm cooking dinner or doing dishes and he just comes over and talks to me. We just love to chat with each other. It's like one of the things that we've done our whole relationship, and it's just so entertaining. And I just love the connection it brings. And so this is kind of twofold in that I can take care of the dishwasher, obviously, but also connect with my husband and find topics of conversation that are enjoyable for both of us. When you finish the dishwasher and you're like cleaning the sink, there is no greater feeling than like looking and the sink is sparkling, it's clean, and you can just go to bed. It's just the absolute best. There's nothing better. Another thing on my reset is resetting my dog training. We have a 1-year-old German Shepherd. He is a big baby, and he requires a lot of work. And so a big part of my day-to-day is helping him. And man, with moving, if you've got a dog and you've moved, you get it. It is so stressful for them. They have no idea what's going on, and they're like, where am I? Where's our house? Who are you? Who's around here? All these new dogs. So he was really scared. He didn't know how to walk upstairs very well, so that was quite the hassle. And then just kind of figuring out what our new routine was going to be like for him. And obviously he's a big dog, so he needs to run around and play. And so I took him to this nearby little riverbed and just let him on his long lead to run around and play. And he just thinks it's the absolute greatest thing in the world. And sometimes he pulls me right along with him, and he's so fast, so I really have to be prepared for whatever could happen. But with him, I try to do training stuff with him every single day, so that way we continue working on his skills and his manners, and also building our relationship so that he listens to me better, especially in public. So I really try to take these opportunities throughout the day to train him to do things. So I don't know, I don't think it's in this video just because I'm filming and I don't have 5 hands, but typically if he's on a long lead, this is when I practice come, and I just practice different skills, so that way when we do take him off lead, he's ready for that, and just continue working on playing. You know, we have different games that we play together that he loves, and then we'll obviously walk to and from wherever we're going to go train at, and we practice loose lead walking and heel and auto stop and auto sit. So there's lots of different skills that we practice, but if I don't do it, it's so bad. He just like regresses so quickly, and I cannot afford that. Like, no, he's too big of a dog and he has too much energy for that to happen. So resetting our training with him just allows so much more peace in our house. Everybody's happy when Stark's tired. So I just got back from a really cool thing at my local library. They were having an event for planting an herb garden, and I have never lived in Texas before, and it is so hot here, and the climate is very different from everywhere else I've ever lived. So I don't really know what will survive here and how to care for plants that will fit the environment that we're in. So my friend and I went to this class, and they gave us a little plant, and then we got to pot some seeds, like little seedlings, which I'm so excited about. And then one of my friends bought me this little one. It's forget-me-nots, which I'm so excited about because forget-me-nots are my favorite flower. And then this is a sunflower, and I got this because of a military spouse event. And then this one I got from Target, and it's a strawberry growing kit. So I am very excited because I love plants and gardening, and living in an apartment's a little hard because you can't totally do a lot, but I want to get started. So I'm going to go ahead and plant the rest of these and water them so we can start growing our plants. I'm so excited. I love these little grow kits from Target is typically where I get them, and they're like in the little like $3 section, and they just have everything in there. The instructions are really easy, and I've had actually really good results in the past with these, but not all of the plants that I have are from the same place or the same brand, so they're all a little bit different, but I am really excited because it is so warm here in Texas that you really can grow stuff all year round, and so I'm excited to have sunlight in our new apartment because we have an east-facing apartment, and just being able to get some little plants growing. And I just love some of these plants. Like I love sunflowers and lavender and forget-me-nots and strawberries. I love them. So I'm really excited. And as an update, after this video, they have actually begun to sprout, and I about died. I was so worried that I was gonna kill them because it's so hot here and I don't water them on a super consistent schedule just because I haven't had them for very long. So I feel like now that I've had them for a little bit and they're starting to sprout, I feel very motivated to keep them alive because I don't want them to die. And the little containers I think are working well, so we're getting enough sunlight. Anyways, I'm very excited to see them continue to blossom as the weeks go on. I know there's something called grounding where you like put your feet on the ground and you like connect with the earth, and I think the earth here is a little gross. Like dogs poop and pee around here. Like it's not the place that I would stick my feet in the ground, and it's not like fluffy grass, like everything's dead. So since that is not an option, I feel like doing these little house plants, kind of like little potted plants, is my way of grounding the best that I can since I don't have a garden or anything. Just being one with things that grow naturally and that really come from the earth, I think is so therapeutic, and I loved doing that in the summers when I went home during college, and so it's nice to be able to kind of continue doing a similar thing here. And I just love having natural seasonings and herbs and food, and so I'm excited to grow some of the little things that I have and be able to harvest them in a couple months. Thanks for coming with me this week as I reset my life, as I adjust to a new home and a new routine with literally almost every aspect of my life. It's so overwhelming, to be sure, when things happen, but being able to see different areas that I can actively choose to implement changes and reset balance in my life has just been so helpful for me to feel like I'm on the up, that I can actually handle everything that's on my plate. And hopefully, as you've watched me this week go through a couple of things, maybe that'll give you some ideas of what you can do to create a sort of reset in your life. And I think when it comes to just growing older, something I feel like I've learned so much as I've been an adult, and I'm like continuing to adult more, is that I've just had to learn myself. I've had to learn what my limits are, what's rejuvenating, what's healing, what's worth it. You know, like sometimes in college you just do things with friends and stuff, and you're just doing things just to do things, but does it actually fulfill you, or is it restorative? And so as an adult now, I feel like I'm learning bit by bit what are the restorative elements that I need in my life. So hopefully you are on that same journey of finding that peace and balance that comes through taking care of everything and also taking care of yourself. I think oftentimes it's really easy to forget our own self-care. And so this week has been a very regenerative experience for me to focus on making sure that I'm doing okay after having been on survival mode for like a week, and it's been a lot. Thanks again for watching, and if you want to learn more about how to organize and plan your life and just be able to make it more functional and get everything together, subscribe down below for videos each week. Thanks again. We'll see you next week.